creating race war. Their next moves will be cyber attacks and power outages. Globalists are going to cut our power off and say the Russians did it. It might be, hackers took down part of the power grid. How many times have I said they're going to blow the power grid up and say Trump supporters did it?
Well, tonight, the nation's intelligence agencies are warning of cyber threats from Russia and are urging U.S. critical infrastructure defenses to be reinforced.
Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from right-wing extremists.
It wouldn't take much to throw the entire country into darkness.
We've seen the FBI say the number one terror threat is domestic right-wingers.
Specifically those who advocated for the superiority of the white race.
They've now defined it as fascism if you support President Trump.
What do you mean by semi-fascism?
You know what I mean.
Fascist, pro-Trump paramilitary groups.
And then now we start seeing headlines at the top of Drudge yesterday, imminent, Trump's calling for violence, Trump's calling for insurrection, January 6, 2.0.
Threats of violence from homegrown extremists are growing in the wake of the insurrectionist attack on the Capitol January 6th.
And if you look at all the pre-programming data points that are there, they're hyping this up.
The grid is a sprawling target. There are actually 3 in the U.S., the Eastern, Western, and Texas has its own. Should a transformer explode, the system is designed to trigger a localized grid-preserving blackout. But if several sections of the grid go down at the same time, the shutdowns can cascade like dominoes.
There's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen as a small disturbance in comparison.
Growing concerns over white supremacy in America as President Biden issues this new warning about the threat that it poses.
The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
This is not going to be the end of MAGA terrorism. This will only be the beginning.
About to get a taste of their own medicine. Get ready for the revolution. It's coming. It's time to eat the rich. And I don't know if you heard, but billionaires are splurging on bunkers. People like Beyonce and Jay-Z, tech billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg, and they're buying up bunkers to hide because soon society is about to collapse. And they created all of this mess going on with the economy. And it's so ridiculous.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Peace, blessings, safety, mercy, and healings be unto you elect, you hopeful elect, the elect of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, whom are scattered throughout the 4 winds, 4 corners of this earth. And double honors to the head elder apostles of the Great Millstone Branch, GMS, that teach us and edify us daily. Let me get straight into it. Lord's will, this will be edifying to whoever's listening. As of late, there have been talks of cyber attacks, in the news and articles. And one of the things that can happen in cyber attacks is an attack on the power grid. Now, if that was to happen on a national level, speaking about America, which is Babylon the Great, all hell would break loose. Now, it's not a question of if it's going to happen, but when is it going to happen? Now, knowing that it is going to happen, we of the household of faith, the hopeful elect, we are to be watching as well as praying. Because right now we're not living in the times of peace, but in the times of evil. We have to be very vigilant, sober, clear-minded. Because 2/3 wicked of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, they're not watching right now. They're being distracted by way of these wicked holidays. Even as I speak right now, and I've said this before, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's sharpening his sword right now. Death is on his mind, and murder is on his mind. So knowing that these things are going to happen, We must be watchful, vigilant, sober, clear-minded, circumspect. Speaking first and foremost to myself, if I'm not watching, paying attention, then that's my ass. That brings me to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. And here's the point. Therefore, let us not sleep, like 2/3 of our people, as do others, but let us watch and be sober, clear-minded, vigilant, circumspect. Because all hell could break loose at any time. It could break loose tomorrow. It could break loose next week, next month. We don't know, but it is going to happen. It's not a question of if it's going to happen, but when. We're about to enter, soon come, into a time known as Jacob's trouble. And that brings me to my next precept. 2 Esdras chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine. And what's going to happen when the power goes out? Food is going to rot. And eventually, people are going to be hungry. They're going to start stealing from the stores. They're going to soon find out that there's no more. And they're going to resort to stealing from other people's homes, looking for canned goods, things of that nature. And a product of that will be, a lot of people killing each other for food. Because a famine is coming. Not only a famine of food, but of the word. Because when the power goes out, how are you going to get this word, this truth, this knowledge? You're not going to be able to get it. It's going to be a very dark time soon come. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And once again, evil just means bad times. And that's what's coming, bad times. Horrific times. A time like no other. A time of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Right now is not the time to be fooling around, playing. Right now is the time to be vigilant. Be serious. It's just a warning, warning going out. Now, I wanted to end off with this. The reason the things that are going to happen, the chaos that's coming, that's about to ensue very soon, the reason it is going to happen is because that is the desire of the top wicked elite. The international bankers, the top wicked elite of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They want the total collapse of this society. Because their end game, their end goal, is to have everyone microchipped with the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the charagma. That is their nefarious plan. That is their end game. Their end goal is to have everyone microchipped. They want to bring the chaos. They're orchestrating the chaos. And that'll justify them to bring the order. Things are going to get so bad that people are going to be willing to accept that MOTB. And we of the household of faith, the hopeful elect, we're going to give Esau the finger and tell him to fuck him and his new world order. And though some of us may be put into, concentration camps, or some of us may be beheaded, at the end of the day, we put our trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai because there is no other. Our help is in the Lord.